screams, it's a plot to drop the IQ. Fighting amongst each other over rumors that don't like you. Prefer us trapped in melancholy with the wood wands of holly. Suggestions that obliterate to camouflage the folly. Attempted mental robbery, executed sloppily. Hypocrisy, this mockery, and walk the talk with me. Put the hands up to touch the Akasha, cause you know deep down there's something bigger than your wallet.
Sweet eternal balance of all that is good, true, and beautiful, friends. Welcome back to Rogue Soul, where tonight we are talking about the 8-8 Lions Gate. It is almost August 8th. I also have been guided to lead an event for people who are interested on that date. And so I wanted to invite you to that event. You can always go to Rogueways or roguesoulnow.org. And you can find my services there. You can book the 8-8 Lionsgate session. It's a group event. It will be a powerful blessing, powerful channeling, and a tapping into the energies of that day, which we'll talk about on this episode. You can also get my books here. You can find them also on Audible, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, anywhere books are sold. But if you want to get them from me, you can get them here on the site. And they'll come with an inscription from me, channeled through for you from the spiritual ancestors. Those messages are pretty special. People love doing that. So it's a great way to support me in what I do. It's a great way to get really amazing, awesome books, fictional and non-fictional, and also to get those messages. You can also go to the shop and find powerful Orgone Lotus votives and more. These are powerful energetic tools that you can use in your household, in your space, with your intentions, with your meditations. I'm surrounded by it. You can be too. It's also just beautiful. They're great to have around, both for the energetic properties and also because they're so beautiful. They really uplift a space, enhance your meditations, your intentions, your prayers, your blessings, all of that. That's all here on the site. If you'd like to support me, there's also the donation of support. It's there in the shop, as though you were purchasing an item. It's just a way to support the show, support my work, support my channeled messages, all of that, especially in this time where I've had a bit of health challenge and a harder time working. So it's nice to feel your support anytime, your love of what I do, your support of what I do. It's especially important and helpful to feel that recently because of those situations. I am, by the way, doing much better. We hope that that continues. I've got about a week and a half before I am in the clear completely as of the streaming of this episode. And so your continued prayers and blessings are always accepted. But that's all here on roguesoul.org. If you do want to schedule, you just go to schedule, and all of the different services I offer are here, again, including that 8-8 Lionsgate full moon abundance and purpose blessing this coming August 8th. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much what I always offer: the past life readings, the lightning oracle every other Tuesday, where you can get a channeled message from your spiritual ancestors live in the group session. I do regular tarot readings. I do coaching and talk for people who want to learn spiritual, mental, emotional, physical ways of uplifting their path through life. I do channeled spirit guide sessions where blessings and messages from your spiritual guides come through. Very powerful sessions, sound healing and alignment. All of this is from a distance. All of this is via the Zoom or whichever other ways you might need to connect. Anywhere in the world, anytime, we can do these beautiful sessions. So that's all on roguesoul.org. rogueways.substack.com is where I publish my channeled messages, such as Everything Has Already Been Said, my most recent channeled message. If you're a free subscriber, you still always get the gist. You get a little preview of the message. If you're a paid supporter, then you get the whole message. Oftentimes, these messages are accurately predicting the future, telling you what to prepare for, giving you beautiful messages from beyond and above our level of consciousness here on Earth. So they're very powerful, beautiful messages, and you can have access to them here on rogueways.substack.com. You also get free articles like Spiritual Laws, being my most recent article. I do a lot of health articles. I do a lot of spiritual articles, and that's for anybody who subscribes. So whether you want to support at the free or the paid level, rogueways.substack.com is a great place to go. Thank you for all of your support there. It's good to keep in touch with you all there. But we'll get into the Lionsgate and what it is. You may have heard of it. You may never have heard of it. And I don't know. I think I actually only first heard of Lionsgate maybe within the past 4 years. I didn't know what it was. I just, I've never really been new age, as surprising as that might sound to some people, because of what I do for a living professionally, my spiritual healing and teaching. But it didn't come from the new age background. I didn't come from even astrology. I have some people sometimes book a session with me and then they try to get into their astrology. And I'm like, oh, I'm not an astrologer. I have a general background of astrology, but I don't do that. And I definitely am not an expert on that. And so this just wasn't in my wheelhouse, actually. And it came up at some point, and I kind of heard about it, read about it. But this year, really specifically, I get messages from spiritual ancestors, the group of ascended masters who I've been in connection with my whole life. And I get guidance to do or not do things. Again, the channeled messages I do on Substack are through these guides. And I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I want to say, I got a very direct message to offer this 8/8 Lionsgate initiation, you might call it, activation, you might call it, channeling, you might call it, blessing, you might call it. And these tend to be really powerful. So before we get into exactly what the 8/8 Lionsgate is, I'll just share that when I'm guided to present these opportunities for people to come together in a group setting and receive, they're generally pretty high energy. They generally have big effects on the people who go. People who come feel as though they've shifted. They feel like things are more highly attuned. They feel like they have more clarity. They feel like they're more aligned and in touch. And oftentimes there's physical healing that people receive, monetary, economic, abundance. And actually this Friday's 8/8 Lionsgate group blessing and channeling is intentionally aligned with our abundance. And we can take that a lot of different ways, but there's a specific reason why this 8/8 Lionsgate is important. And abundance is one of those pieces. I know that's something that some people have a hard time believing as well. I've talked about this before, where people are like, well, it's, and rightly so, people have a lot of skepticism but people just think like, well, that can't be how the world works, right? You can't just like go to a blessing and then all of a sudden things just change. But that is actually how the world works. And it took me a while to get there too. I'm the most skeptic of all of you, promise. So I get it. But it's true. I've surprised myself when I follow my guidance to offer these things and I see what happens to people. I've seen people who couldn't uncurl their hand in a distance healing session all of a sudden be able to have full use of their hand again. And I explain it to people. I don't promise you that those things are going to happen to you, because I'm not in charge of it. I'm not the energy. I'm just the channel for it, right? I'm not the one saying, here's what we're going to do and it's going to get done. I'm just told to show up and I do, and the energy comes through. So I can't tell you your hand is going to heal or you're going to get money. I can tell you that the people who work with me know, and the people who do this type of work themselves, or have gone to many other people like me in the past, know that that's what happens. Things that you wouldn't necessarily expect can happen. And so we don't ever go in, and I would say always to be even more dubious of people who say, oh yeah, we're going to heal your hand, or oh yeah, you're going to get this money, or oh yeah, you're going to get that job, or whatever it is. We don't go in saying that, but we do have these intentions. It is good to bring your intentions to these types of things. So you'd say, well, I'm hoping to heal this, or my intention is that I create abundance for myself, or right, here's where I would like the energy to go. But we're always actually serving our highest self and source, or God, or the universe, or creation, or whatever you want to call it. And it has a better plan than us. And so this is why I don't even try to predict what will come through for people or what it's going to be. And it's why I don't promise people. And it's why I don't offer things like heal your hand or get a bunch of money, right? Those aren't my services. If you look at my services, they're like, we'll channel your spiritual guides and allies, and we'll give a blessing, and we'll just see what it is, right? We'll do a past life reading. We'll see which life comes up, because it's not up to us. It's not up to you. It's not up to me. So we create our intention and we hold that in our heart. And then we also allow that whatever it is that's going to happen is going to be what happens. And it's going to be better than we could have planned. We don't always understand it. It doesn't always feel that way, but it's true. So it's going to be powerful, as it always is. If you've been to my prior experiences similar, which would be things like the violet flame activations or the celestial alignments in the past, or some of the things that I've done, this is in the same line, right? We'll come together, there will be a blessing, and there will likely be a direct channel message of some kind or some messages that come through. And that field that we step into together and the energy that channels through is going to be powerful. And it also, lucky for us, gets to serve the whole earth, because we always come with that intention as well, that we get to receive. And on doing so, we get to also assist humanity, the earth, and the collective's upliftment, especially in this time where things are quite fraught with change. A lot is coming at us. So we always do that too. So we get to do all of that August 8th together. I'll also just say, if you're like, oh, I'm busy that night or whatever, the thing that's really cool is that even if you're not there live with us in person, you get to come back and listen to the recording, and it's as though you're there in live. The spirit knows no space or time. So you're not getting less, or it's less direct, or it's not as powerful. It's just as powerful. So you can always register and catch it on the recording if you can't be there live. I know for some people that's just not as fun for some reason, but it really is the same energetically. And so feel free to do that. But let's look into Lionsgate in general, this 2025, and what it's all about. This is an article from Rush, RUSSH.com. I don't really know them, but I liked this article, so it's good enough for me. It's written by Mia Streiber. She says, did you know that August 8th is one of the most important dates in the astrological world? It's known at the peak of the Lionsgate portal, an immensely powerful day for manifestation. Celebrated by many ancient cultures, this day was considered as the marker of a new year and a moment to set new resolutions. Want to know more? Here's everything. So it's interesting to me, 8/8 is said to be the peak of the Lionsgate, but we're actually in the Lionsgate already, because they actually count this as Leo. We're in the sign of Leo. Astrologically speaking, in tropical astrology, at least, we're in the sign of Leo. I think we're in Leo even in true sidereal, and maybe even in Vedic or some of the other sidereals or some of the other astrologies. I think Leo is one of those ones that kind of ends up being similar dates amongst a lot of them. But 8/8 is the middle of Leo. It's right there in the middle, but not just in the middle of Leo. It has some other alignments going on, and that's what makes it special. So we'll keep talking. I'll just point out numerologically, 8/8 is a very significant day as well. 8 is representative of infinity or eternity, and this idea of what goes out comes back, right? You see that in that figure 8 symbol. It's just always going around and around and around and again. So we really want to use that 8 symbolically energy in the same way that it's intended, which is that whatever we put out, we want to get back. And this is what I was talking about in this event that I'm holding on the 8th, which you're welcome to join me at. We're going to intend that we also receive everything that we can receive and also give it all to the earth, right? To the people and to humanity. So we are going to mirror that 8 in what we're actually doing as well. So numerologically, a really cool day. And they say, when is it? Lionsgate portal technically runs for 2 weeks between late July and early August. This year it opens on the 28th of July, so we're already in it. And it closes on 12th of August, so about 4 days after that event I'm holding. She says, however, the pinnacle of Lionsgate is August 8th, 8/8. People will often commonly refer to this date as the Lionsgate portal itself. It's also known to some as the Galactic New Year, which is exciting. What is the significance? It says Lionsgate portal is the moment where the sun in Leo is in alignment with 3 important celestial markers. So we're in Leo astrologically. This is part of the energy. We've got that 8-8 numerologically being important for that infinite back and forth karmic give and take energy. But we also have these astrological alignments that are really important. So it says the star Sirius, very important star, esoterically, in the occult, in astrology, in all sorts of traditions. Sirius is very important. Orion's belt and the Earth. So these are the astrological alignments. Sirius is actually part of Orion's belt, right? So Sirius is one of the stars that the pyramids are aligned to, and many other megalithic objects around Earth are aligned to. Sirius has been significant in all kinds of traditions. Like I said, it's if you've ever read Robert Anton Wilson, he talks about Sirius a lot. It's a serious deal. So Orion's belt, also very visible, and then Earth, all aligned here on 8-8, also making this Lion's Gate very important. So this happens, it says, when Sirius rises or becomes visible again due to the sun's yearly passing of the star. Interesting. It says Sirius, the alpha star of Canis Major constellation, is the brightest star in the sky. This is also where we get the dog days of summer, by the way. Sirius is in that Canis constellation, Canis Major, it says. And so is it not one of the belts of Sirius, of Orion's belt? Hold up. Let's just check this out really quick. I thought it was Sirius and Orion. We'll see. Oh, they're distinct. It says they're closely related. Oh, Sirius can easily be found by following Orion's belt towards the horizon. Okay, my bad. So we'll correct that. Okay, so it's in Canis Major. This is why we call it the dog days of summer, because it's in that dog, Canis, Canine, right, constellation. It's called the dog star, Sirius, and one of the brightest stars in the sky. Astrologically considered to be a spiritual sun, Sirius was an extremely important body to the ancient Egyptians, who referred to it as the goddess Sopdet. They used the annual rising of the star to note when the Nile would begin its annual flood, feeding the landing and bringing harvest and fertility. Oh, that makes sense. So she's the goddess of agriculture because this star rising on the horizon indicated when the floods would start and then start to feed the land again. So the dog star, bringing in the food, bringing in the abundance. So you can see also part of why this energy of this time of the year is associated with abundance. This bringing in of the flood of energy. We get all of this agriculturally, this goodness. And so that is abundance. And that is associated here with Sirius in this alignment for Lion's Gate. In astrology, it says Sirius brings wealth, abundance, fortune, and fame, as we just talked about, and we can understand perfectly. As such, it says our alignment with this auspicious body means it's an excellent time for manifestation. The full breadth of the Lion's Gate portal period is considered spiritually significant, but the peak of the Lion's Gate portal, August 8th, is for a few reasons. The numerology of 8-8 is considered extremely powerful, the most powerful of all combinations, it says. I mean, maybe, sure, you could say so. You could say a lot of things, though. Is it the most powerful? I don't know, but it is very powerful. It's very significant for the reasons we talked about. It also says it's the sun's halfway point through Leo, so exactly halfway. Leo, of course, is the sign of boldness, confidence, often abundance, outward shining, just like wealth and sharing of all of this goodness with the world. So again, in deep alignment with the energy that we are tapping into at the Lion's Gate event this Friday. So the sun's also the ruler of Leo. So the sun's at the halfway point in Leo. Leo and the sun are just perfectly matched. The sun is the ruler of Leo. They have very similar energies symbolically. They're very similar. They're both this outward giving, confident, bold, abundance-centric energy. And here they are with Sirius, which is the same on this 8-8 number, which is numerologically important. So even if you don't really care about any of that stuff, it still ends up being important, and I'll tell you why. And we'll get to that. So then she goes on in this article to say how you can manifest during the Lionsgate portal. Of course, you could be doing all sorts of stuff all the time on your own, and it's powerful and it's good and it's helpful. I suggest that you have a spiritual practice. I suggest that you get in touch with yourself and the earth and humanity and consciousness and God and all of this daily, regularly. This is what I do. This is what I always am helping people to do. It's the best way to be. You want to basically, and this is from the spiritual ancestors even, you want to every day do something positive for your physical body, something positive for your mental body, something positive for your emotional body, and something positive for your spiritual body. So every day you're taking care of all aspects of yourself, even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's just a little bit that you put in, it's still keeping you on the right path, keeping you, giving yourself good, true, and beautiful energy. This is what I teach. This is what I do. And this is what I support. So you can do that all the time, and I hope you do. And it's very powerful to come together in a group to do anything. So as long as you are good with the group and the leader and the intentions of the group and the energy field there, then that's perfect. You don't want to just drop into any random group and then they end up having really negative energy, or the leader of the group is someone you just can't jive with, or they have really negative energy. Like, maybe don't do that. But if you have access to a good, true, and beautiful, high energy, positive group and leader of a group, very good to do this. It's always more powerful than doing it on your own. This is why it's, Jesus says in the Bible, wherever 2 or more gather in my name, there shall I be. It's true. The more of us are joined together, the better. Speaking of the number 8 as well, with this 8-8 Lionsgate energy, Lynn McTaggart and her work, which is scientifically based and scientific studies support it, she talks about the power of 8. And if there's 8 of us or more, then the power is even more magnified. So 2 or more, enough. 8 or more, super powered. So we'll definitely have 8 of us there on Friday or more. That is already done. And if you join us, then there's even more. So I hope that you do. But we'll also talk about, I just wanted to touch on this because I thought it was interesting actually here on Times of India, indiatimes.com. They have the Lionsgate for each sign. So very quickly, we'll go through each sign. So for Aries, they say Lionsgate brings a surge of courage and self-confidence. Chase bold goals, start a new chapter in your career, or drive into a passionate romance. Taurus, it says, get ready to attract prosperity and stability. Shine a light on your finances, home life, and sense of self-worth. Gemini, activate your communication, learning, and networking sectors. Open doors in business, teaching, or social media. Cancer, you might be experiencing emotional breakthroughs, healing old wounds, or finding closure in family matters. I feel like they're just saying what each sign is actually already good at, but I'll just keep going. Leo, spotlights on you. Magnify your natural charisma, leadership, and creative energy. Virgo, old routines, toxic habits, or limiting beliefs are ready to be cleared away. Libra, manifest meeting a soulmate, strengthening a partnership, or making peace in a friendship. Scorpio, if you've been working hard in the shadows, get ready to step into the spotlight. Sagittarius, that's me. I'm a Fucus and true sidereal, a Sagittarius and tropical. And they say for me and for you, if you're a Sagittarius, perfect for travel, higher studies, or exploring spiritual practices. That's always me. So again, I think we're just going with the general for each, but this is what they say. Financial transformation for Capricorn, deep personal empowerment. Aquarius, you have collaborative projects, alliances, or even marriage plans. Pisces, new habits, healing therapies, or even a dream job in the wellness field. And that is the horoscope specifically for Lionsgate for each of those signs. So that's fun. But here's why this date is important, even if you're not super into, the celestial alignments and the astrology and those sorts of things, even the numerology with the 8-8, it's also the egregore of it. And this is what I have learned in my own spiritual practices. Again, I always start from actually the most severe kind of disbelief is skepticism. And I have to be like forced by just blunt trauma to the head into believing in anything. I don't buy anything. And I am a spiritual healer now. So that has been very specifically forced into my path after much resistance for many, many years, many years. And so I get it. So I'm always sort of talking to the skeptics out there a little bit too, because I get you. I understand that. And the egregore of something is something I've learned really matters. And egregore in general is from a French word, egregore, which is a concept in Western esotericism or Western occult traditions or Western sort of spiritualist traditions of a non-physical entity or thought form that arises from the collective thoughts and emotions of a distinct group of individuals. That's the fancy Wikipedia definition of it. Another way to think of an egregore is just enough people have thought of this enough times that it has weight in the universe and is easy to resonate with, interact with, play off of, or use because it exists now. And it's real. It's just how the universe actually works. It's a mental universe. And when enough people believe something, it becomes true. So egregore is sort of like the magical, spiritual, again, Western sort of occult way of talking about it. And, if you want to get really deeper into what it actually is, an egregore was something that people would sort of intentionally create, often together in a group, sometimes individually, by imagining something and thinking about it in such detail so many times over and over again that it actually takes on a life of its own and then exists independently from you. For some people, that then takes the form of sort of like almost a, maybe like a Bigfoot, or maybe even like a vampire or a ghost or something that's less material usually, but still effective and can, again, independently from who created it, go around affecting others. So something sort of paranormal that can have an effect and can be perceived by people who didn't otherwise know that it existed. So, right? So you can see how it's like, it's real. It exists independently. It can be perceived and affect people and things. It's not always quite material. Some people talk about it being really material, and then we get more towards the idea of like a tulpa, something that you create that actually exists physically and can literally run around animated, and that's a whole different thing. Very similar, though. Very similar in this, that they're created with your imagination, with your mental power, and with the repetition of the mental energy. Very specific. And so egregores are real. Egregores are real. Egregores are so real that people will often do exactly what I just said and sort of accidentally create via like urban legend almost, something like a big cat, right? You'll hear these stories all around the world of these like big cat sightings, but there's no actual big cats and there's no actual den and there's no actual bones ever found, but like people will see it everywhere. And right, these are sort of egregores. Again, we actually have scientific evidence that egregores are real. And just like Lynn McTaggart showed us that the power of intention and the group energy of 8 or more people actually affects outcomes significantly, more than significantly statistically. And we can prove this over and over and over and over again. It's a repeatable scientific fact. It is also scientific, repeatable, and true that we have something like egregores. And Rupert Sheldrake is my favorite scientist, one of my favorite scientists of the modern world, because of his work on morphic resonance and morphic fields and his repeatable scientific studies on this phenomenon. And it's basically the egregore for the scientific world. And it's exactly what we're talking about, where you put enough energy, mental power into something, it exists now, and it actually has an effect. And for Rupert Sheldrake, he goes a little bit further, and it's not just this sort of, entity. It's with all things, really. right? It's with all things. So, for example, he's done studies that show that your pet knows when you're leaving work. Even if you leave at a totally different time than your norm, your pet will start to show the same indications that they show every time you're leaving work. So you don't know this because you're at work, but if they leave cameras and things at home, your pet perks up and starts getting excited exactly when you left your work to head home. How does your pet know? Your pet knows through this morphic resonance or morphic field, this thought form that is strong enough that it affects actual material reality and other people, in this case, other pets, other animals, because it exists, because the information is actually out there. We also have an example of more like the egregore, right, that people create. If enough people believe something, it actually affects the world. He has studies that show over and over again that once somebody in the world does something that was previously thought impossible or previously expected to never maybe be achieved, once one person does it, everybody else suddenly does it. And they do it without consciously knowing it has been done. So many of his examples, Rupert Sheldrake talks about, are from scientific labs. And he'll talk about how they're trying to, synthesize this certain chemical or synthesize this certain compound. And nobody can do it. Nobody can do it. And years go by, and maybe even a decade goes by, and nobody can do it. And suddenly a lab somewhere has a breakthrough. And on that same exact day, within hours, before they could telegraph or write a letter, and now we have the internet, right? But before they could do any of these things, all these other labs would have the same breakthrough, same day, within hours of each other. So we have this with patents. We have it with inventions. We have it with show ideas. We have it with everything. We have it with running the mile, jumping the, long jump. We have it with everything you can conceive of. Once one person does it, everybody now can do it. Not literally everyone, but a bunch of people. We've called it the 100th monkey effect and all these other names. But what it actually is an egregore. What it actually is this morphic resonance field. What it actually is that the information exists collectively, and we're reinforcing it. And now we can do it. And now we believe we can do it. And so now we can do it. So, we have this scientific evidence of morphic resonance. We have this scientific evidence that what we think matters, what we believe matters, but maybe more importantly than that, what we repeat throughout time over and over again in multiple people's minds and experiences matters. That's the strongest egregore of all. So even if you're like, I don't know if it matters if Sirius is an alignment or if it's a Leo constellation or, if 8 itself is a special number, enough people have over enough years that it's growing and it matters. And so it is an important day. We actually get to decide what days are important and why they're important, but it also does line up with a lot of universal patterning and law. So it's also really perfect. We didn't just create it out of nothing, but even if we had, it would be important. But we actually created it out of traditions that go back thousands of years across many different areas of the world in terms of numerology with the 8, number 8. It's kind of universal what it represents. In terms of astrologically with the Leo and the Lion, it's kind of universal what that represents. Even Sirius and the Sun, kind of universal in what they represent. So for it to all come together is pretty big. The other thing is it is a full moon right about then. And it's the full moon of abundance. It's the sturgeon moon, it's known as in some circles, and it's August 9th. So again, if you know anything about these fields I'm talking about, and the egregores and the morphic resonance, it's not just the precise moment of, on August 8th when we'll be at midpoint in Leo. And it's not just this, it's these things actually resonate out a few days in other directions. And so we're just at the midpoint of Leo, 8/8 day. But within a day, we also have this full moon. In fact, it's less than a day. This is August 9th at 3:55 a.m. Eastern, which is 1:55 a.m. my time, and the event is in the evening. So it's only a few hours away, actually, the moment of the full moon. So we're right there in this full moon as well. It coincides with a celestial event as well. The brightest planets, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn, will be in alignment in the early morning sky. Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. Of course of course I was guided to offer this event on this day. So we also have these other celestial giants joining us: Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus. Again, not the astrologer here, but Venus, planet of love. All right, so we've got love high in the sky in alignment with us. Jupiter, master of abundance. Here we are talking about 8-8, Lionsgate, all of this abundance energy that we're going to be tapping into. Master of abundance. And Saturn is like the absolute, like, let's get structure into this and make it actually take form and happen, right? That's Saturn. So we've got a lot of energy here, big giants energy in the full moon on 8-8 in the Lion's Gate. It's masterful. We've got Sirius in alignment as well as Orion's belt tied up in this energy too. I'm actually like kind of in awe right now of how much is going to be coming through for us on 8-8 this year. So I'm really excited to offer this event. And there was one more piece of that I was just thinking was so powerful and cool. Just the full moon too. Full moon is fullness, abundance, right? Full. So yeah, really cool. If you're excited about coming, you can always click right below wherever you're listening or watching this. There is always a link to book a session with me, and that will take you here to book any of my sessions, including the 8-8 Lionsgate. You can also just type in calendly.com/rogueways, and it'll take you there. And you can just click here and then pick your time, which there's only one. It's on 8-8. It's on Friday, and whatever time it is in your time zone. And like I said, if you can come live, great. If you don't want to have your camera or your audio on, fine. If you can't come live, but you want to catch the recording, it's there just for people who signed up and have paid, who are in the group with us. And you'll be in the field just as strongly as if you were on the line with us live when it happened. So whichever way you like to do it is fine. Doesn't matter. But here this is for you. Really powerful. And again, the energy of this is abundance. The energy of this is confidence and outgrowth and big, big movements forward, big stepping into purpose is part of what I was guided that this is about for us as well, both subjectively and objectively, both internally and externally, both, you as a single human and also the collective of humanity. So as you step up to receive all of that, you're also sharing it with the whole world. That's both true just on a basic level of anything you improve in yourself is a gift to the world, because now the world gets a better version of you and everyone you ever interact with gets a better version of you. But it's also just true energetically that whatever you hold in your field or whatever you've brought through for yourself is easier for everyone else to access. That's morphogenetic fields. That's egregores. That's how it works. So you are also manifesting this for everyone. So I love that we get to be in service when we receive this energy and this blessing as well. That's one of my favorite parts about doing these group activations, group blessings. But again, part of the other piece I got was that this has to do with our purpose, stepping into our purpose. You might think it's a big enough purpose to become your best self and offer that to the world, to become someone who gets to receive all of this and then therefore share it with the world. But this might be bigger than that for a lot of people who are coming to this event. Your purpose might be a whole different sort of path. It might be that you're sort of shifting careers or what you're offering to the world, or stepping into your own spiritual service even is often what people are receiving when they're coming into alignment with their purpose. So who knows what that is for everybody, but that was when I received the guidance to offer this I don't just offer these all the time. I offer them when I'm told to, and it's usually because of some cosmic or celestial alignment that I didn't even understand the significance of until I got the guidance to do it. But that's part of what I was told, is that this is for people's abundance and it's for their purpose. Stepping into your purpose, stepping into your abundance. I also want to add, when we're talking about abundance, we're talking about the Nile flooding and the goddess of abundance that's connected with Sirius, the dog star, and that sort of energy, and the abundance of Leo's just full confidence and growth, and the sun's high energy, and all this stuff is so cool. But abundance can also be your health, right? I was recently in talks with my guidance, and I was sort of complaining, as I often do, about, my state of health recently has been challenged and getting better and better all the time. But I was kind of like, man, I don't know, and they're like, oh, you're going to receive abundance. And I was like, okay, well, can I have health instead? And they were like, well, health is abundance. And I was like, oh yeah, it is abundance. Health, you have an abundance of health. Having health is actually the best abundance to have. Like they say, you can have 100 problems, but when your health's challenged, you really just have one problem. And it's true. So if you're also thinking like, yeah, but I need some help with my health, well, that's in alignment with abundance too. So you can come with any intentions. They don't have to fall in line with abundance and purpose. You can come with anything, right? It just is true that the energy that's coming through is most attuned to abundance and purpose. You can't go wrong if you have good, true, and beautiful intentions, and you're stepping up to receive and to also be in service of Earth and humanity. Like, you can't go wrong. So don't worry too much about that. I just know we all have our little goals or big goals that we have at any given time. So you're welcome to bring all of them to an event like this, and they will all receive some sort of blessing or support. That's what these types of events are for. So calendly.com/rogueways if you're interested in coming. Click below you wherever you're watching or listening if you're interested in coming. Come live, come on the recording, whichever way you want to do it is totally fine. I just wanted to share with you this opportunity that we have to come together in this powerful way and receive these powerful blessings, powerful channel messages, powerful activations, powerful alignments. And again, I don't offer them all that often. So I just want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to join if they would like to join at whatever comfort level you have. If you just have a question about it and you're not sure, feel free to contact me on the site. There's that connect page. Or if you have my other contact info, follow me on any of my socials at Apotropaic Soul on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, or on Telegram, t.me/rogueways chat. You're welcome to contact me any of those ways and ask any of your questions. I would love to see you there. I'm very excited for what's coming. I'm most excited that when I'm guided to do these things, it usually means I'm healthy. So I'm taking this as a good sign that my health will continue as well. I, of course, again, appreciate your continued prayers and support in whatever ways you are in support of what I do and what I am healing through. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. And I hope to see you this Friday at the 8-8 Lionsgate. If not, at least I hope you are stepping into your intentions of your confidence, your healing, your purpose, your abundance, bringing that in for yourself and being in service of all of the world, all of humanity. And until you are, travel well, aim for balance, and always look inside first. Mwah.
Glued to them screens, it's a plot to drop the IQ. Fighting amongst each other over rumors that don't like you. Prefer us trapped in melancholy with the wood ones of holly. Suggestions that obliterate to camouflage the folly. Attempted mental robbery, executed sloppily. Hypocrisy, this mockery, and walk the talk with me. Put the hands up to touch the Akasha, cause you know deep down there's something bigger than your wallet.